and welcome to 3Q the Artist. I'm your host, Rachel Vogel, and joining me for tonight's episode is producer, mixer, writer, and multi-instrumentalist, MOMBRU. So, MOMBRU, welcome to the podcast. How's it going today?
Thank you, thank you. It's good. It's sunny, so it's good. Can't complain.
Are you ready for your first question?
I am, yeah, I am.
Let's jump into it. I've heard many artists and producers say, I am my music and my music is me. So, what does that statement mean to you?
Personally, what that means to me, I am my music and my music is me. Um, it's saying that in in any form of art, whether it's music, whether it's painting, whether it's poetry or any medium of art, art is just an extension of who I am and what I stand for. Um, from how I feel to what my perspective is in life, my mood, and my take on what's, going on in the world. Um, Even to how I communicate. I feel like that bleeds into whatever music genre or, what the music feels like. Like it all bleeds into that. Because at the end of the day, there's an ear at the end of the speaker. You know what I'm saying? So like music is going to be received by another human being. So I think it's important to for that to be the case, like for art to be who you are and to be as true to yourself as you can make it.
Yeah, totally. Do you feel like you've kind of developed that perspective over the years? Like, did you always see yourself kind of going into the music side of things?
Um, n- I think that's definitely something that I grew into. As far as the being authentic to yourself, obviously music is gonna be, if I'm sad, I'll write about this, or if I'm happy, I'll write about this. It's always been like that, but it's throughout the years, my experience has emphasized that you have to try to be as authentic to how you feel and unpack how you feel and try to write about that and make music like that because again, music is going to be heard by humans. So as long as you make the music from an authentic place, I feel like you're good.
Totally, yeah. It's all about the vulnerability too.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's all about being vulnerable.
All right, moving along. Next question. Every industry has its hidden truths, both good and bad. So, what's one secret about the music industry that people might not know?
Two came to mind. One is what we just spoke about, specifically with production and producing and songwriting. Um, People might not know that it's more than just making music, and it's a lot of unpacking of feelings, connecting to an artist, um, really digging deep as to why they feel the way that they do that specific day, or really honing in on a feeling. And it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of conversational elements that come with making music. It's not just making music because music has to come from an authentic place again from the first question. But yeah, that's the first one that came to my mind.
That's great. Do you feel like you often leave sessions, whether it's with an artist or another writer, producer, feeling like you just got weight kind of like lifted off of you just because of all of the sharing that's going on?
100% and vice versa. Like what I get, I feel like what has contributed to my career, my again, I guess my quote unquote success or whatever is I like to talk about things. I like to unpack. I don't know where that comes from, don't ask me, but I like to unpack things. Like I like to talk about things in a deep level. And I think because of that, the way that I navigate conversations, people just are able to talk to me. Or
Mhm.
like I guess I've heard that I'm just an easy person to talk to, or they can feel like they can talk to me about anything, which is a good tool to have when you're working with an artist and you're trying to, really come to make a song that comes from a deep perspective for an artist. I think that contributes to why I feel like, I always end up making really good friends with the artists that I work with. It's not just a transactional thing, like, let's make a record, boom, boom, move on, and that's it. Yo, I'll see you later. It's
Hmm.
always like, it's always like a deeper connection.
Yeah, that's really great. I feel like that's a really great quality to have just as in a human being in general.
For sure, especially, yeah, no, 100%. Especially in this industry because it's so transactional and really in any industry, I feel like people can lose sight of connecting to a human being because they're just
Hmm.
focused on climbing the ladder.
Well, we've only been talking for 5 minutes, and I'm already ready to tell you all my darkest secrets, so the people are not lying to you.
Don't tell me with a good time.
Oh my gosh. All right, before we jump into the last question, I'm just curious, do you remember what kind of like that first step was looking back on your mu musical journey where you felt like things are really about to click? Do you think that there was any specific thing that you did, or was it just timing?
I would probably say just discovering production and what production, like just the fact I started this kind of late, to be honest. I went to a music school, but I didn't go into it knowing that I wanted to be a producer and a writer or make records. I went into it thinking that maybe I was going to go into business or be an entertainment attorney or something like that. Um, but like my freshman year, I discovered I had a class where um you learned about technology and music and how they've come to coexist. And one of the things is making music out of your laptop. And that changed my life. I think that really set it off for me because my curiosity just went off. And after I got out of a 5-year relationship after freshman year and around that time, I just like locked in. Like, like yeah, you get out of a relationship, you trying to find, try to keep yourself occupied. That's what I use to keep myself occupied. Um, and it just really it evolved really fast. Um, and so yeah, that's I guess in retrospect, I guess maybe that clicked for me. But other than that, I can't. It's a good question.
That's
That's the
cool.
first thing that came to my mind.
That's awesome. All right, last question. As you
Hmm.
look ahead to the later years of your life, imagine you're being interviewed about your career and your personal journey. What would you hope to be able to say about each?
So I'm just gonna list things that I've learned recently, especially recently, that are very, very important. Not just from personal experience, but like what my close peers have also experienced that that may be at a different perspective point in their life or in their career. They might be a bit more ahead, have gone through a lot of things. Um, so yeah, so probably the biggest thing is bringing people that you are close to and uh trust along with you. Because people we get introduced to new people all the time in this industry, and I think it's very important to keep the people who you trust and who you consider close along with you. But also, collaborating with people and not necessarily wanting to do everything yourself. And even if you can do everything yourself, like it's always good to work with other people and try to bounce energy, you know in the room. Like, if you and I are in the room, like I would want us to have an interaction and bounce ideas off of each other rather than just me tell you what to do. You know what I mean? And I feel
Hmm.
like right now, not right now, but something that I've experienced is like, people kind of like feel like they gotta do everything themselves, or there's a lot of pride or ego when it comes to that. Yeah, that's another one. Those are the two biggest for me.
Yeah, I feel
Those
like human connection is like the most important part of life. But we often lose that, I think, in this industry a lot, which is crazy because the music industry you would think is all
Yeah,
about that. Yeah,
yeah, like that's the huge thing that I feel like people can lose sight of.
100%. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.